it's a hard road to fight for clean water because you think everyone wants it, but they don't. They want it till they know it costs money. Right? So, you want to ask me a question, go ahead. But you may not like all the answers.
So aquaculture is our industry here that is the raising of shellfish. It's probably truly mariculture, but in Florida it was aquaculture. And that's what we were told when the first time we heard it. And aquaculture can be viewed as a negative thing when you're dealing with food products, because in certain aquaculture applications, things are fed in a pond or something like that. But in Cedar Key, the shellfish are raised right beside other shellfish, so they're actually eating the water that is naturally here, which is clean. And so it's a very positive statement to me. Aquaculture with shellfish, because it is in the water, also brings in certain levels of testing that's mandated by the federal government that helps you monitor your water quality and keep your water quality good. The waters around Cedar Key are cleaner than tap water based on government standards. So the fact that we have aquaculture here in Cedar Key is just a continuation of the preservation work that we've done here with the islands and with the lands on the coastline outside of Cedar Key. And it's just a good fit with the aspects of shellfish aquaculture to carrying Cedar Key and the area into the future and making it sustainable.
Looking at it, it may not seem like it's clean, but it is. I mean, and they did all kinds of surveys and testing the waters and stuff like that, and they found that it was very viable for the clam industry. It's come a long way. Up until '94, there was the oysters and mullet fishing and such. In '94, when the net ban was implemented, the oystering industry was still there, but it was the net ban affected the commercial fishing status of the city. It was, at that time, everybody thought it was the demise of Cedar Key. And then the state of Florida began this commercial clam process. And I think watching it basically go from infancy to where it is now is the best thing that has happened as far as the commercial fishing industry. Is probably the best thing that's happened to Cedar Key.
But I personally took college and continued my education and became a paramedic and an RN, and I was the only person in the group of over 100 people to do that, and the rest got their farm and their training. And we stayed here, and I actually went to nursing school while I was living here as an adult because I couldn't trust the state of Florida to maintain water quality necessary for maintaining an active, viable, edible product. Because we don't do things correctly in Florida. That's why when you have the map of Florida in front of you, you will see there's very little area left that maintains shellfish. The water is good enough to be to swim in, to fish from and recreate in. But for shellfish harvest, it has to be extremely clean much cleaner than the requirements for swimming. Out of 800 miles of coastline, there's only a few miles left here and there that are clean enough to sustain shellfish for edible purposes. Now, we are considered by the state of Florida to be ag. We are recognized to be agriculture. So we were thrilled because we thought, oh, if we're ag, we're going to be sainted like all the wonderful ag people. We're going to be loved like the dairy farmers, and we're going to be loved like, you know, everyone's going to want us and be happy that we produce a food for America. And instead, we're getting hammered because the regulations are strict for shellfish waters, and nobody wants to do that because it costs more money to build right, to do right, to divert things from entering the sea. And nobody cares, because as long as you can see it, ride on it, and fish in it, who cares? Who cares that we can still pull a clam or an oyster out of that bay? Who cares? Help us keep it instead of telling us to destroy it so you can say we can stand on our feet. We are doing fine. We just need help to keep it that way. We've bought this land, we've kept this land, not to put a road through. And that it's not just the road, it's what happens with the road. And what is the quality of life? I guarantee you, and on anyone who's watching this film, to go to any interchange off of I-75 or the Turnpike or the Suncoast Parkway and go to the rest areas and see, is that what you want here? Is that going to bail out your children for a future? Is that going to help your children grow into viable family people? Do you see cute towns in the school there? Do you see a community? Or do you see Hardee's, racetrack, low-paying jobs, no future? You can't unplug one thing from Cedar Key and say that's why it's important. It's all important. The people, the wildlife, the natural environment, the plants, everything is a quilt. And we haven't ripped out the one piece of it. If you rip out a piece of your grandmother's quilt, it's screwed up, isn't it? Think of others. Take care of this gift that we've all been given. Take care of things that cannot be replaced. And take your time before you make decisions, and don't base it on money. That's our biggest problem. Don't base it on money. Because if you do it right, you will have money. And you'll have food, and you'll have independence. Do it right.